through Friday. So wet, windy start to the day here. That rain spilling its way northwards again. Some of that rain could be quite heavy. And then it's a blustery day through the afternoon. Some sunshine, 1 or 2 showers, which could be quite heavy, but very mild indeed. Again, 20, 21 degrees, lightly across the southeast, mid-teens or so across Scotland and Northern Ireland. As we head into the weekend, it remains unsettled, very mild both days. I think if I had to pick one at this moment, it looks like Saturday could be the better day. We could see some more substantial rain moving northwards on Sunday.
My writing is my activism.
Painting is a weapon of offence and defence against the enemy.
This, in the land of the free.
Art by Rembrandt in Robert.
On one level, it's an art show, on another level, it's a freak show.
The fitting stories behind the art on BBC Two and iPlayer.
We lift everything.
Behind every headline, there is a human story. This is Our World.
It's a living culture.
A series of documentary films that reveal the human global event.
Життя триває, у нас 2 дітей.
Our World. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Is BBC News broadcasting to viewers in the UK and around the world. I'm Ben Brown in Downing Street, where Rishi Sunak has become Prime Minister, the UK's 3rd in 7 weeks. Well, he faces a series of major challenges, top of which is a severe economic crisis. He spoke here a few hours ago of difficult decisions that he will have to take.
I fully appreciate how hard things are. And I understand too that I have work to do to restore trust after all that has happened.
After being invited by King Charles to form a new government, he arrived in Downing Street to a warm reception and set to work on forming his new cabinet. No change in 2 of the big offices of state. James Cleverly remains Foreign Secretary and Jeremy Hunt stays at the Treasury. Suella Braverman returns as Home Secretary less than a week after she resigned, and Dominic Raab is Deputy Prime Minister. Well, it comes as new figures show the task in hand, with the price of some household basics soaring.
You can see it on the shelves when you go into the supermarket. You've got to really think about making better choices.
Ultimately, the cost needs to come down, or people's income needs to go up.
Hello and a warm welcome to BBC News. I'm Ben Brown. We are live here in Downing Street, just outside number 10, on what has been another momentous day in British politics. Rishi Sunak is tonight spending his first night here in Downing Street as Prime Minister. And today he became the UK's 57th Prime Minister, the first British Asian Prime Minister, and at 42 years of age, the youngest Prime Minister in more than 200 years, and he's the 3rd to be appointed to the role this year. Well, his in-tray of challenges is daunting, and the work, he says, has already begun. In the last few hours, he's been appointing a new cabinet. You will recognise many of the faces. Of the three main offices of state, two remain the same. Jeremy Hunt stays as Chancellor of the Exchequer in charge of the nation's finances. James Cleverly stays at the Foreign Office. Suella Braverman returns as Home Secretary. That's after resigning from the job just last week. Dominic Raab is back in the Cabinet as Justice Secretary and Deputy Prime Minister, positions he held under Boris Johnson. And Ben Wallace keeps his job as Defence Secretary. Michael Gove is returning to frontline politics, to the job he held under Boris Johnson. That is Levelling Up Secretary. Other names we should mention and bring you. Grant Shapps is now Business Secretary. Penny Mordaunt stays as Leader of the House of Commons. Of course, she dropped out of the leadership race at the very last minute. With us, our UK political correspondent, Jonathan Blake. Well, it's all been happening in the door, behind the door there behind us. We've been watching all the comings and goings throughout the afternoon. What does it all boil down to? What do you think is the message that Rishi Sunak is trying to send? Because, as we've said there, a lot of continuity, stability, you could say. Others might just say same old faces.
A lot of familiar faces. Several key Liz Truss allies have gone and left the cabinet, but there are several of them who are still there. This is not a broad, sweeping changing of the guard from Rishi Sunak. He is keeping, as you said, Ben, several of the key offices as they are, and he's brought in one or two of his own allies too. Mel Stride as Work and Pensions Secretary is, I think, a significant appointment, as is, for different reasons, Suella Braverman as Home Secretary, who resigned from government in that post just a few days ago, having committed a security breach over the sending of